Hey, this is David Breeze Flippers. It's kind of an update, a little early this week, but I thought since I had a few sales going out that I'd kind of sit here and talk to you guys, because I also told you in the last episode that I was going to really rethink this whole shipping strategy, and I've done that. So I've actually wrote it out, and I'll show you my shipping strategy. I may drop it in the show notes and let you guys see what I'm going to do. This is probably going to be very close to what I'm going to do. I actually went through and I did use AI. I used ChatGPT to help me kind of analyze zones and the prices for different weights and sizes. And I'm trying to figure out the best policy for what's going to be good for me. It's going to be good for the buyers. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We've had a few more sales that went out after I did the video Sunday. So we'll show those and what sold, and then I'll show you what went out today. So let's get into it.
Find it, flip it, ship it, wear Breeze Flippers, keep it moving. Find it, flip it, ship it, repeat. Breeze Flippers.
So first of all, though, I've talked a little bit about this in the past several shows, and I kept seeing I really do need to look at this free shipping thing. And here's the main reason why. And maybe this doesn't make sense to some people. Maybe it makes sense. Maybe I don't know. It makes sense in my head though, right? So I started looking at it going, okay, let's say I'm offering something for, let's just make it an even $20 with free shipping, right? So if that ships to someplace close here, and let's say it's an 8-ounce or under item, if I ship that somewhere close, that's probably going to be in the $4 to $5 range, right? I'm always going to kind of know that it's going to be, somewhere close to that. Even if it's shipping to California, it's probably going to not be much more than $5, right? However, when you start getting into those heavier items, like the ones that are over a pound, that number starts to jump up. So if I'm shipping something to, say, Florida, it probably doesn't cost me as much. However, there's some zones in Florida and South Florida that are actually like zone 4 and 5 from me, and I'm in basically the western part of Florida. So it can cost a little bit, right? So it really hit me hard the other day when I had to ship that pan lid to Hawaii, and it cost me $13 and I was charging $8.99. So that's what kind of got me thinking, because it's really hard to plan your profitability, right? Because you're going to pay your fees on the total sale, right? The entire sale. So if you're charging $8.99 in shipping and it costs you $13 and you're only getting $20, you've just reduced your profit, but you're still paying the same fees. So I'm thinking in my head is like, well, if I know that like something heavy, I can do calculated. I'm not going to know exactly what I'm going to charge, but I also know that I'm not going to have to pay more in shipping than what I had planned, right? So it's going to cover the cost for the buyer. I also know that I can also set that amount and say, okay, if I'm doing this, I know that it's always going to be somewhere in this range. I know what my value is going to be, my end value. At least I kind of figure out my profitability, right? So it just kind of hit me the other day when I was thinking about that. I was like, I got to figure out something. Now, it's not going to be an easy change because half my items are free shipping right now. So it's going to take some time. I got to go through in a little bit at a time. As I'm putting new stuff up, I'm changing it. But I am going to change some of this. We'll talk a little bit about that in a few minutes, and I'll jump back into it. And I'll tell you what I think I'm going to charge, and I would love to hear your comments. So if you've gotten this far and you are watching my video, I appreciate y'all being here. And I'm going to try and do some new stuff, a little bit here and there. I also may talk a little bit about my further adventures with Better Lister AI. Again, that's probably not going to last through this month, but I had some thoughts about this as well, about really, I see a lot of people pushing these AI listers, and I want to put a caution out there for you guys that it may not work for everybody. It may not be the what you need in your business. And we could talk a little bit about that as well. But, we did have some sales go out, so I want to talk a little bit about those, and then we'll kind of jump back into the other subject. But if you are here and you are watching, if you haven't had a chance to hit the like and subscribe, I really would appreciate it. We're really working hard to get this channel to 1,000. As soon as we get to 1,000, we're going to do some giveaways. We're going to do a lot of stuff. Eventually, I'm going to have some guests on here. I'm actually going to get my wife to come on too, because she's a fun part of our business, and you really don't get to see her. I do have a partner in this business, and she does help with a lot of stuff. So I do want to get her on there and probably do that on some Sunday videos when we're shipping stuff out, because she is a big help. And then I am also just going to let you guys know that I'm going to be on a podcast Wednesday. So this will come out before. So Wednesday the 21st, no, tomorrow, 20th, I'll be on the $1 Million Peddlers podcast, and that's with Mr. Magazine and Papergoy. I'm looking forward to it. So these guys are really cool. They sell a lot of ephemera, a lot of stuff that I sell. They sell a lot of different things. So I'm really excited to talk to these guys, learn a little bit about them, and let them learn a little bit about me. So if you get a chance and you do watch that, definitely go check it out. I'm sure it'll be on in the next couple of weeks. I'm not sure how often they put theirs out, but I do know we're recording it on Wednesday. So I'm looking forward to it. So let's talk a little bit about what sold real quick though. After the video on Sunday, I actually did a couple more sales, and I'll pop these up on the screen. The first one was I sold another Pokemon plush. So I'm loving that buy, guys. I'm going to have to figure out the profitability on that one. I will get that figured out by one of the next videos, maybe by the end of the week. I'm going to go through and try to figure out exactly how much I've made off that, because it has been very, very good. But this one was a Pokemon Center Pokemon Fit Meganium stuffed plush from Japan. It's new with tags from 2019. Sold it for $26.99. It went out free shipping, but again, that free shipping was under $5. So it's very light. So you keep it under 8 ounces. It generally doesn't cost that much, or even if it's just slightly over 8 ounces, if it's going to California, it's not, it's still going to be a little over $5, but I kind of knew what that one was. But again, I'm changing these all out. Right after that, I sold another men's magazine. So this one was January, February 2010, has Tara Reid on the cover. So anyway, another $3.03. So the sale's off on that right now. I'm getting ready to start another sale. Trying to move those. I need space. I'm down from 4 bins now to 3. So we're getting there. So I'm trying to get those moved so I can make space. Then also sold one of the, so I told a little bit about the game buy. I don't know if I talked about that or not. I made a game buy a couple weeks ago. It was a small game buy. I was at a garage sale and the guy had a whole bunch of Game Boy disc, the little ones. And I picked a gold Pokemon and a blue Pokemon. I picked up a Kirby. I picked up a Mario Land 2, and a little 8 gigabyte memory disk for PlayStation 2, which I need to go test that. However, I also picked up a whole bunch of PSP games and a few PS2 games. Well, this is the first of the PSP games that sold. Sims 2, Castaway, Sony PSP game complete. These were all complete. It was really good. I was really excited to get these. Ended up, my buy cost on all of them, I put $1, but it was actually less than $1 because I bought a whole bunch of items, including a baseball bat that I still got a list. Ended up selling that for $18.99. I got $4.99 shipping. Let me tell you if I might be lying. I think I might have gotten $5.99 shipping. I got $5.99 shipping on that. So smart shipping for a change. So, but that went out $18.99 with $5.99 shipping. So, and I've had a couple more offers sent out on some of the other ones. So that buy right there is almost paid for itself, and I haven't even really got the Game Boy games listed yet. I was waiting because if I can test them, I want to test them. PSP games, typically, it's very rare that they don't work. As long as you can look at the disc, you can see there's no marks because it's encased in plastic. I've never had one that didn't work. Anyway, but I can't test them. I don't have a PSP. However, I bought an adapter for the Game Boys, and I tested all of those yesterday. I did have to take apart a couple of them and clean the contacts really good. Usually, just take a little eraser and you can kind of clean those contacts off really good and make sure they have a good connection. You put them back in and boom, they worked. So every one of them worked. I was so excited. That's probably worth, all those games together, if they all sell for what I think will probably be about $140 total, all of them. So, and I'm gonna sell them individually. So I think it's kind of cool. I talked about this book way back, but I got it free at a garage sale. Went through it, looked at it, was really cool. It's a coffee table book. I decided to go ahead and sell it. It's the Vintage Aircraft Nose Art book by Gary Valiant. And it's aviation, basically it's an aviation book, but it's all of the nose art from World War II for the bombers and the planes. So really cool book. I got my use out of it, got to look through it. It's kind of a neat nostalgic thing. And I do like history and such. So it was kind of cool. It was fun. So I did sell that though for $18.99, and that went out. So today I sold a toy. Now I don't sell a lot of toys, but this one was kind of interesting. So picked it up at a garage sale probably a month or maybe 2 months ago. And it's a Hatchimal. So it's a Hatchimal little house. And I've got a whole bunch of Hatchimals with it. So these are what's in the bag on top. And I picked up everything. I had a whole box of Hatchimals. I mean, a whole bunch of them. I mean, there were a ton of Hatchimals. And so I made it up into, I think, 3 different lots. And so this one had the actual house, and the other lots are just Hatchimals. And there's some various different ones, and there's some rares in there, so I've got those in a different one. But I ended up paying, I think, total, because I also bought some other stuff with it. Matter of fact, a camera that I still need to list, and then I think some Magic the Gathering the penny sleeves. So I have those. I still haven't enlisted those yet, but I need to. I was going to give some to my daughter because she said she needed some. But I'll make money back on those. I paid $10 for everything. So this one I listed as being basically paid $3 because I'm trying to even it out. Ended up getting $34.99 for this. And I want to say I'm getting at least $5.99 shipping. So I did a little lighter on the shipping. The only reason I did that is because I know that I'm way better on the money as far as what I got for it. So I'm already in the profit. So anyway, that's going to go out. It'll be fun to ship. So now this one is another comic. So I did sell this one. This one's basically, it's a Marvel 2-in-1 number 3. It's the Thing on the front. So it's a Thing Virgin. It's pretty decent little comic. It's a cool cover. It's nothing really exciting, but this one has, it's a Demondo variant cover. It's Hercules, Hydro Man, and Mad Thinker appearance. Where's Wolverine by Carlos Pacheco. And so it's a Young Guns 2018 cover. So I think these are new artists, and that's kind of what this is about. I know there's a glare on it, but anyway, I don't think I have very much in this one. Matter of fact, I think I have less than $25 in the comic. I bought it off of Whatnot, and it was during a Whatnot auction. I actually think I won it, to be honest with you. If I remember correctly, I won that one when I bought a lot. It was just something silly that they were doing. So, so I think I counted the lot that I actually paid, and so it was $23 with shipping and everything. So I got that, and it's been, you know, in my collection for a while. It's nothing, I'm not a big Thing fan, so the guy went back and forth. He kept trying to send me an offer. He sent me a $40 offer, then I sent back 47, and then he sent back 42, then I sent back 46, and then he sent me a $44 offer, and I just took it. I mean, I'm not going to quibble over $2, so it will get $44. It does get free shipping. That will cost about $6 to $7 to ship. Well, depending on where he's at. Actually, he's in New Jersey, so it's not going to be that bad. So it's not going to be that bad at all. So I think that'll be about a $6 to $7 ship. So I'll be okay. I'm still in the money a little bit on that. Didn't make a huge profit, but again, I'm trying to sell off some of my graded comics so that I can grade some more, right? Last but not least, this is a bunch of shirts that we had picked up a long time ago. And I got to be honest with you, I do not remember where we bought these at. Now, actually, I do remember. We used to have a store. It was called an Amazon bin store, but it was like it's called Where You Been. And they had 6 of these shirts, all the same size, large, in a package. That's where it was. And it was, I think it was on Dollar Day. So I maybe have a quarter into this. But anyway, I've got one left after this one. But it's a Garth Brooks Dive in 2020 t-shirt. Large. It's from a summer concert series from 2020. I'll pop a picture of that too because you can't really see it. But it is a Garth Brooks shirt. It's got a lot of color on it. It did sell for $7.99, and I probably have $4.99 or $5.99 shipping on it. $5.99 shipping on it. So there we go. Some people will buy stuff with shipping. So, so all told, since Sunday, since after the last video, we're actually about $237 in sales. So not bad. I think we're at Tuesday, so hopefully this week will be a little bit better. Need to be a good week. Wasn't as good last week, but you know, I'm going to start a couple sales this week to kind of kick things off and get things rolling. So we'll see if that kind of helps. So back to my subject though, about the free shipping. So here's what I basically came up with. Single lots for comics. So if there's a single comic, I'm going to probably move to a $4.99 shipping. Now, you ask yourself and you say $4.99, you probably can't ship it for $4.99. You're right. The Gemini mailers cost about $1.10 total each. if you count everything that goes in them, right? I mean, I count everything: tape, I count the extra, the layer of board that you have to put. There's another board that you have to put in there over the top of the comic. So those do cost. You pay a little bit more for those. So I'm figuring I'm about $1.10 into the Gemini mailer. So if I do $4.99 and I adjust the price of the comic to be kind of close, I could probably make that work. But I'm also toying with just leaving it at $5.99, which I know, again, I'm probably not always going to make it, because some comics are just over 8 ounces and some of them are under 8 ounces with the Gemini mailer. If they're under 8 ounces, I can ship it almost anywhere in the United States for about under $5. So I make a little bit, I'm close to the cost, as long as I'm making more on the comic. But the whole point of the whole thing is, like, if I'm doing free shipping, let's say it's a $7 comic and I'm doing free shipping, right? So I put the comic at $12 or $13. Well, I get an offer, it comes in at 10. I'm really, I know that I'm going to lose money on it, right? So I know that I'm still kind of factoring in that thing in my head going, all right, well, if I take $10 and I still got to pay $5.60 something, I'm taking less for the comic. Whereas I put the comic price as a set price, and I say, let's say the comic is $7.99 and it's $5.99 shipping. I know I can play with that number a little bit, because the $5.99 is always going to be there, right? So I can set that number in my head and say, this is what I'm getting. I can fluctuate 10%. So $7.99, I can give 79 cents off. I can get it down to like $6.99. I'd feel better about that. I know it's all numbers and it's all the same, but in my head, it just makes me feel better. And I think some of you all would understand that too, because you know what you're getting and you know how much you can discount. Because I'll be quick to say that a lot of times I'll be going through and I'll have 20 or 30 offers to send out, right? And sometimes you go fast and you're like, okay, 10%, 15%. I'll usually give 15. Now, if it's on sale already, I send out a 5% offer, and I use I've talked about this before, and some of you guys actually signed up for it, but I use Blaze Text. And if you don't use Blaze Text, go to the links in my bio and click on that and go look it up. Blaze Text saves me so much time, because in the offer, I don't just send the offer and it just says, hey, this is a great price. I actually say something along the line is that, hey, I'm offering you an additional 5% off. This is what I say. Thank you for checking this out. Unlock an extra 5% off on top of our markdown sale. Don't delay. Please click the heart and favorite our store. Stay updated on future deals and savings exclusive to our followers. Don't miss out. Just click. I type in the /BF, boom, it's in there. So even if you don't do the paid version, you can do the free version. You can do up to 20 of those. But I use those all the time, and I just send out offers. So I'll do that and click BF. I'll send that out on the top of a sale. I always send out a 5% extra, so I never run a sale. If I want to run 30%, I never run 30%. I run 25%, because I know I'm going to give the extra 5%. So I do that a lot, but Blaze Text really helps that. But I'll send out offers all the way down. So whether it's like, I have different ones in my head, like if I /SS, it's like, this is a special. I always try to get them to click on the store and follow the store. So I'm always trying to market that a little bit as I'm sending out offers. But if I'm going through really quick, sometimes I don't look to see that it has free shipping. And you can send out an offer at 15%, and you're like, oh man, that's going to suck. So anyway, I think that's kind of where I'm at, and that's where I feel more comfortable with. So probably going to go to $5.99 for shipping. If it's a comic lot, let's say more than 3, but over a pound, up to 3 pounds, probably going to be somewhere between $8.99 and $10.99 to ship that. Just because, one, they get a little heavier. So the bags and boards, they do get heavier. As soon as you get 2 comics in there, you're usually at a pound. If you get 3 comics in there, it goes up a little higher. 4 or 5 comics, it's a lot. So I'm probably going to do that. Magazines, the only magazines I really have, well, besides heavy metal, some of the comic type magazines, but the men's magazines that I have, they're particularly usually between 1 and 2 pounds. If I'm lucky, just slightly under a pound, but those are always going to be $7.99. And you can't send them media mail, even though I know some people do. I wish you could, but they have advertising, so you can't send them media mail. You have to send them Ground Advantage. Video games and DVDs, I'm going to probably, it depends on the weight of them, right? If they are under 8 ounces with the bag, with the box, because a single DVD and a single game, I will typically wrap that in cardboard. So I have these cardboard boards, and I will wrap that in cardboard to make it a solid, like a solid case, and I'll put that inside of a bag. It's a little heavier, but it does protect the game or the DVD or whatever I'm putting in there. So if there's one of those, I will typically put it inside of that and ship that in a bag. and it generally can be under 8 ounces, but it can be over. I may still do free shipping for some of those, or at least the DVDs, just because I can manage that cost in there, but I'm still debating that. If not, it's probably going to be $4.99 for a single game, $5.99 for 2 games, $6.99 for 3, $7.99 for 4 or more. So because I have to put those in a box. Hats, this is the hard one. I'm still thinking about that in small plush. You know, so a lot of the small plush I could probably ship for $4.99 because like the little Pokemon plush, they'll fit in a 6x5x4 box, and it's always usually generally under 10 ounces, but never cost me more than $5.99 to ship. So if I do that at $5.99, but hats have always been a hard one. Generally 99% of the hats I sell are 8 ounces or less with the box. Sometimes I'll get a box that may be a little bit heavier. I try to find the lightest and smallest box I can, but those, if they run at 8 ounces, it's $4.60 something cents. It doesn't matter if I'm sending it to California, to Maine. It doesn't matter. It's usually under $5. So I'm probably going to keep my hat prices at $4.99 for right now. I'm going to have to really look at it and see, but $4.99 seems like a good place to stay. As far as larger toys, big Legos or anything like these right here, I'm probably going to move to a calculated price. Only reason is because this is probably 3 pounds. Once I put it in the box and I got to wrap it and make sure it's all good, I'm probably looking at 3 pounds. And if that's shipping to, heck, I don't know where it's shipping now, and I got to look at it because I probably could think about this a little bit. It's shipping to, well, what do you know? It's shipping to Glendale Heights, Illinois, because it is actually going to Romania. So here's another little tip. If you're not on the international shipping program, you need to be. That's cool. That's going to Romania. So that's a good win right there, because that means that no matter what happens, it's good. I mean, I'm still going to ship it nice and do all the right stuff, but I love the international shipping program. So I didn't even realize that was international. So, but yeah, so that's cool. So, but again, you know, I did charge shipping for it. So didn't charge a lot of shipping for it, but I did make some on it. So, so that explains why there was such a big difference, because they paid $34.99 and I think they paid, what I say, $5.99 shipping. Yeah, $5.99 shipping, but they ended up paying $49.59 for that. So that's going overseas to Romania. So very cool. So, but things like that, I'm probably going to go to a calculated shipping. So people in California right now, I think that's where I'm getting kind of, I think people on the East Coast get kind of taken advantage of by California, because they see those flat rates and they go, ooh, it's only $5.99 to ship. They just grab those all day long. So I'll win over a lot of stuff. Now that's a big decision to make, because if I choose to go to a calculated shipping, am I going to be competitive still with the others? I'm not going to overcharge them. I'm going to pass on my discount, but I'm also going to make sure I build in just enough a percentage to kind of make up for my box and all the shipping supplies. So we're going to play with it. We're going to see. So something like this might have been calculated shipping. You know, I think we can kind of look at that and see how that goes, but I think that's kind of where I'm at. You know, there's also things where you can use flat rate. So if it's a big enough item and a heavy enough item, flat rate might make more sense, because I think flat rates run $14 to $15 depending on the box size. So that may make some sense as well. But anything high value, so like I have a lot of comics that are over $100. I may do calculated in insurance. I haven't really decided completely on that. Typically for like a comic book, a graded comic book, I charge anywhere from $10.99 to $12.99 for shipping. Now, a lot of them right now are free shipping. I'm going to move away from the free shipping thing just so that I can have, you know, I think, so in my head, I use fair market value as much as I can. So I look at the fair market value of that comic. And so I try to get in there and say, okay, if this fair market value on this comic is $79, then I'm probably going to keep it right in that $79 range, maybe $74.99, $75. And I'm going to put shipping on there. So I think if you're a buyer, they know, okay, I'm going to try and get it for this. I'm going to pay this much in shipping. I think buyers are a lot more savvy. Honestly, guys, I'd love to hear your comments and your opinion. Tell me what you think. Is free shipping kind of a thing of the past? I mean, are shoppers getting more savvy that they understand that, hey, I'm looking for the best price, so I'm going to look at the price plus the shipping? I mean, do you honestly think that you get left out if you don't have free shipping in the search? I don't know. You know, I don't know a lot of people. I mean, I don't search specifically for free shipping. I've never searched for free shipping, but I search for the lowest price plus shipping, right? And if free shipping's included, great. But I'm going to look for the best price, and then I'm going to look for the most either value that I get, or I'm going to look for the best seller, right? I'm going to make sure they can get it to me. So anyway, that's kind of one of the things I was thinking about, but that's where I'm at. I'm going to be shifting this around. It's a big shift. So a lot of stuff that we're going to try and get done, but I'll let you guys know. I'll keep you posted. I'll let you know how much work it's going to be, because like I said, every day I take down between 5 and 25 listings a day, and I redo them. I just a continuous cycle, because every day something comes up that, because I list every day, so I'm always going to have stuff coming down every day. So I try to redo those. So as I redo those, I'm going to probably change the shipping. I'm probably going to go in and mass change some shipping, and just kind of get that kind of straightened out to where I want it to be. But we'll see what happens with sales. So we'll see if it goes down the tube. If it does, I'll have to rethink the strategy again. So, but that was my thought on shipping. So I'd love to hear what you guys do. Please tell me what you do. Leave a comment, say, this is what I do. I'd love to hear that. The last thing I was going to talk about is I have, again, I keep trying to use Better Lister AI to try to see what it does. And again, I listed 30 something items last night. 20 of them failed. I don't know what the problem was on it, but it didn't work, so I had to redo those. But the rest of them, I had to redo again. So I am going to drop it. I think maybe for clothes sellers, maybe it's good. I will list some clothes before I drop it this month, but it's just not working for me. And that's what I wanted to talk about today, was because I've been listening. So I listen to Grams and Pops. I don't know if you guys watch their video. If you don't get a chance to, they're great. Go over and watch them. But he was talking about the AI lister that he's using, which is listeasier.ai, I believe. And what he said makes so much sense to me, okay? He had a big lot of something. They bought bins and bins of these Star Wars toys. And you get 1,000 listings a month on that List Easier, right? He took the pictures. He was able to do those. He knocked out 5 bins of listings so quick. But he'll drop it next month because he doesn't need it for that every month. And I totally agree with that. I think if your business model is that you buy a lot of stuff, like you're buying out big lots of things, you're buying out storage units, you're buying out estate sales. If you're buying stuff and you come back with a truckload of stuff, then maybe AI is the best thing that you can do. But I also do think, and this is one of the things that Graham said, and I totally agree with her, I think what's going to happen with this AI thing, I think it's going to run its course. And here's why. I think at some point we're going to see some of these people, some of these sellers are just going to go whole hog into this, and they're going to put up 1,000 listings in a month. But they're going to list everything. I mean, single DVD, single CD, single everything. It's just going to be 1,000 listings of stuff that's not that great, right? So I think it's just really got to be, you have to come up with a strategy to figure out, is it right for you? If you're only listing 100 things a month, do you really need an AI lister to do that? You can do that in no time. I can list, last night I sat down and did 20 listings in about an hour. Just took the pictures, listed them, did my stuff. I do use my ChatGPT. I analyze it. I run through the listings real quick. I put them in there. I look at everything, and I take the information. I put it in there. Boom, done. It didn't take that long, right? And I will still look at prices. I'll do estimates. I look at the best prices. I try to look at all that stuff on eBay and make sure that I get the right price. But I mean, it didn't take that long. So I don't know if I'm going to be listing 1,000 things in a month. So the other thing is I don't know if I need 100 listings from Better Lister AI, because so far I've had to redo every one of them that I've done. So yeah, there's some good things it'll do, but it just doesn't do it for me. So it may not be for you either. And so I think you really need to evaluate, what are you trying to get out of an AI lister? What is it you're trying to accomplish? Are you trying to do more listings? Do you have so much death pile right now that you're sitting on that an AI lister is maybe the only way you're going to dig out of it? Then that's something you might want to look at. And maybe it's the easy list. I don't know which one it is. I am going to trial it. I still can't get in. The email's still not working, so they're not letting people in. I think it's still in beta. So I'll probably send them an email and see if there's any way I can get in there and test it. But I don't know if it's going to be something I would use, right? I don't know if I'm going to pay $70 a month if I'm only going to do 200 listings with it, because that 7 cents a listing then becomes a lot more, right? So I think it's all about what you do with your business and how much business you plan on doing. And I honestly don't want to just list a bunch of crap, right? I don't need it to go and list all these little $5 and $10 things. I'm really trying hard to get my average sale cost above $15 no matter what. And so, I mean, looking at it now, I'm just looking at what we actually have done. If I go to sales, let's see what our average sales cost is right now. For this month so far, so it's the last 31 days, it's $26.46. So if I look at it for this quarter, it's $28.42. So if I go for the whole year and look at it, our average sales cost is about $30.48. So I'm in the ballpark of where I want to be. I definitely want to be above the $20, but I'm trying to get more $15 and above items. So I don't really know if I'm going to list 1,000 items. I'm not going to list individual DVDs. I'm still going to use Dibdit to sell off those inventory that are the lower stuff that I just don't want to list. So it's not bad stuff. It's good stuff. Like I have probably 50 to 60 Blu-rays out there. I don't want to list those on eBay. It's not what I want to sell. I don't want to sell individual. I don't want to be sitting on a ton of inventory that never moves or moves so slow. I'll sell that on Dibdit. If you haven't gone to Dibdit yet, go to dibdit.com. Use Breeze Flips. You can get $5 off your first $10 purchase. Come over and check us out, guys. It is a lot of fun over there, and we are having a blast selling stuff. And the group of people over there, they're really good. Honestly, they're some of the best people ever. So anyway, come check us out over there. It's my small commercial. But yeah, I'm going to sell that stuff over there because it just makes more sense. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on. That's my thought on the whole AI lister thing. I'd love to hear your input. Tell me what you guys are doing. If you're trialing it, if you're using one, let me know which one you're using. Tell me your ideas of how you're doing it and what's it doing for you. I really want to know. I mean, is it really helping you be better at listing or be better at eBay or do more? Or are you selling more? I'd love to hear what's happening because I haven't yet, heard any of these making sales. I've just heard a lot of people making listings. Now, Kevin, I think he did say his first one sold. So I'll be curious to see what it does. So anyway, I'm going to still trial them just because I like trying new stuff. So we will still probably trial some and see which ones I like. But again, I probably won't stick on it and make, I probably won't pay $70 a month for 1,000 listings. Unless I go and buy out a storage unit, then that might be something, or I end up with 10,000 comics. Maybe then I'll do something. So we'll see. Anyway, that's what's going on with me, guys. I hope your sales are great this week. Like I said, if you get a chance, check out the $1 Million Peddlers, and I'm going to be on their podcast tomorrow night. So I'm sure it'll be on sometime either this week or next week. I'm not sure how far out they record, but do take a look and watch out for that. It'll be kind of fun. I hope you guys are having a great sales week. I hope this week's successful for everyone. I mean, it's got to be getting better. It got to be better than last week, right? So I hope you guys do great. I'm David, Breeze Flippers. We'll see you.
Find it, flip it, ship it, wear it.